Good afternoon, students. In our previous sessions, we discussed case study methods, ethnographic studies, and today's session we will discuss grounded theory, one of the basic approach used in qualitative research. So let's start with grounded theory. Grounded theory is one of the basic approach and most prominently used technique in qualitative research methods. It refers to the process of generation of theory. So, grounded theory. It refers to the process of generation of theory, which is based on collection of data from multiple sources. So, this is the only method of qualitative research which uses quantitative data also as and when required as per researchers need. Once again, it is one of the basic approach and most prominently used technique in qualitative research. It refers to the process of generation of theory, which is based on collection of data from multiple sources. It is the only method of qualitative research which uses quantitative data as well as and when required for researchers' purpose. It is a systematic qualitative research methodology which was developed by sociologists Barney Glaser and Anselm Strauss in the 1960s. It aims to generate theories that are grounded in empirical data, empirical which is evidence based, rather than testing pre existing hypotheses. So, it is a grounded theory is a qualitative research methodology which focuses on developing theories that emerge from data analysis rather than testing pre existing hypotheses. Developed by Glaser and Strauss, it involves systematic data collection and analysis to uncover patterns and concepts grounded in the data through constant comparison and theoretical sampling. Grounded theory seeks to generate new insights and theoretical frameworks that explain social phenomena based on empirical evidence. This approach aims to collect data and interpret the data from the textual base. For example, a collection of field notes or recordings, audio recordings, or some other thing. After the process of interpreting, the database is categorized into different variables, and then interrelationship between these variables are analyzed, studied, and interpreted. This approach is widely used in sociology, psychology, and other social sciences to explore and understand complex interactions and behaviors within their natural context. Goals and perspectives of grounded theory. Grounded theory provides a direction to the researcher and directs a researcher to generate new theories or modify the existing ones. The interpretation and conclusion of the grounded theory approach is more reliable as it is based on data collected from multiple sources. The theory takes similar cases for analysis rather than variable perspective. The selected cases are similar on the variables, that is, the variable of the cases are similar in nature, but the outcome of these cases are different. The grounded theorists, researcher take these cases and compare them to analyze the causes and reasons behind the different outcomes of similar variables of the selected cases. The basic goals of the grounded theory are: the approach consists of a series of systematic steps, and the data is collected from more than one source. So it assures to provide a good theory as the output. The grounded theory approach emphasizes on the process by which the theory is evaluated. This determines the quality of the theory. The grounded theory The grounded theory approach also emphasizes on enhancing of the theoretical sensitivity. One goal of grounded theory is to formulate hypotheses based on conceptual ideas. On the basis of the questions asked, on the basis of the question asked, the researcher tries to discover the participants' main concern and how they continually try to resolve it. It aims to generate those concepts which explain people's actions regardless of time and place. In the words of Glaser, GT, or which is known as grounded theory, is multivariate. It happens sequentially, subsequently, simultaneously, serendipitously, and scheduled. Methods of grounded theory. Unlike other methods of qualitative research, the grounded theorists do not believe in collecting data through tapping and transcribing interviews, as it is believed to be a waste of time in grounded theories. The process of grounded theories is far quick and faster, as the researcher delimits the data by field noting interviews and soon after generates concepts that fit with data, are relevant, and work in explaining what participants are doing to resolve their main concern. Discussing about the theory. Discussions and talks can either render praise or criticism, and both diminish the motivational drive to write notes and that develop and refine the concepts and theory. So, data is a fundamental property of the grounded theory, which means that everything that gets in the researcher's way when studying a certain area is data. Not only interviews or observations, but anything is data that helps the researcher generating concepts for the emerging theory. Field notes can come from informal interviews, lectures, seminars, expert, expert group meeting, newspaper articles, internet mails, new television shows, conversation with friends, etc. So it is possible and sometimes a good idea for a researcher with much knowledge in the studied area to interview oneself, treating that interview like any other data, coding and comparing it to other and generating concepts from it. Interviewing one's own self helps in gaining an insight from the knowledge that the researcher has at the conceptual level and grounded theory. And grounded theory deals with nothing but the conceptual level data. We will discuss key steps which are involved in grounded theory. First of all, inductive approach. Key aspects of grounded theory. Inductive approach. Grounded theory takes an inductive approach, meaning theories are developed based on our observation and data collected from the researcher by the research participants. So the process involves moving from a specific observation to broader theoretical examination. Constant comparison. A central tenet of grounded theory is constant comparison, where data analysis involves comparing incidents or even to identify similarities and differences. This iterative process helps in developing categories and concepts that emerge from the data. Theoretical sampling. Grounded theory uses theoretical sampling, where data collection and analysis occur simultaneously. Researchers select new participants or data source based on emerging concept of theoretical insights to further develop and refine the theory. Coding. Data analysis in grounded theory involves coding, which is the process of categorizing and labeling data based on its content. Initially, coding involves open coding to identify concepts, followed by axial coding to explore relationships between categories, selective coding to refine the core concept. Memoing. Throughout the research process, researcher engages in memoing, which involves writing reflective notes and memos to document ideas, insights, and decisions. Memos help in capturing the thought process and linking emerging the concepts to theoretical frameworks. Theoretical saturation. Grounded theory aims for theoretical saturation, where new data collection ceases when new theoretical insight or concepts are emerging from the data. So, this ensures the theory is grounded in comprehensive empirical evidence. So once again, what are the key aspects? It is inductive approach, There is constant comparison, theoretical sampling, coding, memoing, and theoretical saturation. Steps in grounded theory. We will discuss the steps in this session in brief. After finalizing problem or after data collection, researchers collect qualitative data through methods such as interviews, observation, or documents. Data collection continues iteratively as new insights and concepts emerge. Initial coding. Researchers analyze the data through open coding to identify and label concepts or categorize that emerge from the data without predetermined categories. Next, Excel coding. The relationship between categories are explored through Excel coding, where researchers examine how different concepts relate to each other and develop subcategories. Selective coding. Researchers focus on core categories or concepts identified through selective coding, integrating them into a coherent theoretical framework. Theory development. The final step involves developing a grounded theory that explains the phenomenon under study based on empirical data, conceptual relationships, and theoretical insights. So, these are the steps in brief for grounded theory. What are the key aspects? First, it follows inductive approach. There is constant comparison, theoretical sampling, coding, memoing, theoretical saturation, and steps in grounded theory. First is data collection. After that, initial coding is required, Excel coding, selective coding, and theory development. In our next session, we will discuss steps in grounded theory in detail.